Hello everyone, I'm the Archaeo Detective. I love studying ancient secrets from historical texts, which is why I started a YouTube channel to share my research with you. Today, I'm going to talk about a secret related to Taiwan. In fact, Taiwan is a hidden base left by an ancient lost civilization, the true treasure island. Also, it's advised not to venture into the deep mountains of Taiwan alone. Everyone knows that Taiwan has a lot of high technology, such as TSMC's nanochips. But what people don't know is that, according to ancient records from various countries, UFOs and aliens often appeared in ancient Taiwan. There's also a legend that Taiwan is a base of an ancient empire called the Sun Empire, which existed in the Mu continent that sank in the Pacific Ocean. Coincidentally, prehistoric megaliths and underground caves are often found all over Taiwan. Look, at Mount Qiongqiao in Dalian Town, Chiayi, there is a prehistoric cave with a very small entrance that only children can enter. Cold wind blows out from the cave like a refrigerator. Next to this small cave, there is a stone door about one person's width. The stone door is cut very neatly, but no one knows what is inside or who built it. Therefore, these prehistoric relics indicate one thing. Before the first indigenous people settled in Taiwan, humans or perhaps non-humans had already lived here. In 1349, during the Yuan dynasty, there was a man named Wang Deyuan, known as the Marco Polo of the East. He once set off from Qiongqiao on a merchant ship and traveled to over 200 places around the world, writing a book called Concise Record on the Island Barbarians. During the Yuan dynasty, Taiwan was called Ryukyu. Wang Deyuan set off from Qiongqiao and landed in Ryukyu via Penghu. In his travel notes, he wrote that he met the local chieftain, who was very loyal and righteous. However, if enemies invaded his territory, the chieftain would cut his flesh alive to eat it and took his head to hang on a wooden pole. One day, Wang Deyuan climbed a mountain to enjoy the scenery and watch the waves crashing against the rocks below. But late at night, something strange happened. He saw what seemed to be a fire in the valley, illuminating the distant mountaintops. Suddenly, a sun rose in the valley, lighting up the entire sky and making the whole mountaintop glow. Some said this was due to the local natives smelting iron, causing the entire valley to glow red. But Wang Deyuan said it was nighttime sunrise. In ancient China, this term referred to the period between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. People in ancient times would not be smelting iron at midnight. Could this midnight sun have been a spaceship? In 1632, during the Age of Exploration, the Spanish priest Jacinto Esquivel came to northern Taiwan. He traveled here for a year and wrote a book called Report on the Affairs of the Island of Formosa. Formosa is Taiwan. When Portuguese sailors discovered Taiwan, they exclaimed, Ilha Formosa, which means beautiful island. Father Jacinto recorded that a general named Juan de Arcarso led an expedition of over 80 people and camped by the Qiling River. At 8 p.m., the sky was filled with stars, and it was very quiet. Suddenly, a huge flying object appeared above them, brighter than the moon. It hovered over them for 45 minutes. The expedition team was inspired and delighted, believing it was an angel sent by God to bless them, so they were very happy. Why? Are there such mysterious records in both the Yuan dynasty and the Age of Exploration in the 17th century? Exactly, there is a giant underwater pyramid in the northeastern waters of Taiwan that dates back 70,000 years. During the Ice Age, there may have been an ancient high-tech civilization here, but it all sank to the seabed after the Great Flood. Therefore, the prehistoric caves, megaliths, and UFOs in Taiwan may indicate that this place was the last base of an ancient civilization. This is not just a fabrication. At the end, I will tell you who these aliens really are. Taiwan was highly regarded by colonizers in ancient times because, during the Age of Exploration, Taiwan was called the Treasure Island and the ancient 4 billion gold city. If you travel to Taiwan, be sure to watch your step. There's gold everywhere. Zacharias Sitchin mentioned in the Earth Chronicles that according to Sumerian clay tablets, the Anunnaki came to Earth from the planet Nibiru with the purpose of finding gold on Earth. Their laborers, a lower class of gods, were called Ijiji. This may sound absurd, but in reality, wherever there are gold mines on Earth, mysterious events often occur. For example, Mali in West Africa, rich in gold, is the homeland of the Dogon people who have connections with Sirius. In Uttar Pradesh, near the Himalayan range in India, Buddha was born. The Vedas record that the Naga, a dragon race, lived by the mountain lakes. Herodotus also described gold-digging ants in these mountains, which were said to be the size of foxes and dug up gold dust. Peru's gold mines are famous too, known for long-headed people and the Nazca mummy. Under the deserts of Egypt, vast gold mines are buried deep in the sand. They have been abandoned, and the Egyptian government forbids entry, claiming it is extremely dangerous. According to ancient records, there are 2 mysterious gold-producing places in Taiwan, one of which is Turoboan in Taitung. In 1697, during the Kangxi period of the Qing dynasty, a Fujian county magistrate named Yu Yongho volunteered to go to Taiwan to mine. He wrote a book called Supplementary Records of Foreign Lands, which records Turoboan produces gold, which is extracted from the sand. The natives melt it into gold bars and store them in large clay jars. Whenever guests visit, they open the jars to show off, but the natives do not know how to use the gold. The Turoboan, mentioned in ancient books, is the mouth of the Liwu River in Hualien, Taiwan. Over 400 years ago, this place was known as the Turoboan Delta and was called the 4 billion gold city of East Taiwan by Japanese scholars. The sand here contains 0.82 grams of gold per kilogram. If you sift 1 ton of sand, you can get 820 grams of gold with a purity of up to 23K, 95% gold. Sifting 1 ton a day can earn over $60,000. Turoboan is a name given by Spanish colonizers because the Torabayawan tribe lived in the Liwu River area of Hualien. The Spanish transliterated it to Turoboan. Torabayawan comes from an older tribe in northern Taiwan called Ketagalan. Ketagalan has now disappeared. They were assimilated by ancient Han people from China, so their history has been forgotten. Ketagalan mainly lived in northern Taiwan, in the large areas of Taipei and Keelung. Interestingly, their dwelling places were also rich in gold. In the 17th century, during the Qing dynasty, the miscellaneous records of Taiwan and records of Taiwan recorded that in Jinshan, Taipei, behind the Geelong Mountain Sancha Creek, the gold was as big as a fist and as long as a ruler. The gold in the sand under the mountain was as fine as powder. It was all gold. You must visit if you have the chance. Why is the gold-producing place called Keeling, Geelong Mountain? Because Keeling is the Minnan pronunciation of the Taiwanese indigenous Ketagalans, Galan. Some say Galan means federation, but it actually does not. Maybe only me knows its true meaning because it involves a secret about human origins.
Malasibunong sekin, makunif sekin, opa, takisiladang kata.
Kun hiyaga laki tayan, giloka tagabaw.
Naaiha, jefuting ko nga nako uamis kaku.
Linguistically, most of Taiwan's indigenous people speak a language called the Austronesian language family. Look at this vast area. Northern Taiwan, Easter Island to the east, Madagascar in Africa to the west, and New Zealand to the south. This entire area speaks Austronesian languages with many similar words. It's very strange. This language is spoken worldwide only on islands. Why? It may be related to Ketagalan. Ketagalan mythology states that they are not native to Taiwan. They came from a distant place called Saisiyat. The remaining details are unknown and scarce. However, other Taiwanese tribes, such as Amis, Kavalan, and Sioux, tell a similar story. They all say they came from a place called Saisiyat. Later, it was clearly stated that they came from the direction of Saisiyat, east of Taiwan. Saisiyat was just a temporary stop for their ancestors. This implies that there is another place behind Saisiyat. What place? What name? Unknown. So, this vast area of the sea around Taiwan is called the Saisiyat mythological circle, and everyone's stories are similar. Does Saisiyat hide the legendary sunken continent of Mu behind it? It's not that simple. I'm about to send out a cosmic signal, so get ready to receive it. Many Taiwanese indigenous people, the Japanese Ainu, and the Maori of the South Seas have full-body tattoo customs. The locations and patterns of the tattoos are very similar. The Paiwan tribe in Taiwan has a well-preserved tattoo culture. So please look at this picture of a Paiwan woman's hand tattoo. In ancient times, only nobles and priests could have tattoos because they were most closely connected to the gods. This tattoo has 4 elements: gods, snakes, the sun, and humans. It is not for decoration, as ancient tattoos were made by cutting with stones, which was very painful. This is actually the Paiwan tribe's record of an ancient creation story over thousands of years. At the beginning of the universe, there was an ultimate god called Kada, the sun god. In the void, he created a clay pot, which contained a man and a woman. This clay pot was actually a giant egg. The sun god ordered the 100-pace snake to incubate the egg. When the egg cracked, the man and woman became the ancestors of humans or gods who descended to Earth. In the legend, the 100-pace snake was not like it is now. It could talk and was eloquent. The back half of its body was not a tail, but had legs. It could transform into a human shape, and only humans with strong mental power could see its true form. Could it be a reptilian? Or the serpent in the Garden of Eden? So, the tattoo with 4 lines on its head represents the sun god. The snake below represents the snake that helped the god create humans, and the small figure below is a human. But here's the problem. What does the cross in the middle mean? Is it the sun? Logically, the sun should be with the god. So why is it in this position below? Also, the symbol has a circle in the middle, highlighting 4 crosses. What does this mean? Why do the indigenous people have a cross symbol? Let me tell you, this is not a cross. The cross symbol is actually a variation of the swastika. The swastika appeared extensively worldwide in prehistoric times. Ethiopia in Africa, Greece, India, Tibet, and even Native Americans in North America all have swastikas engraved on floors, temples, clothes, and pottery. This indicates that this symbol was very important to human ancestors, a symbol the gods wanted humans to remember. African Zulu shaman Master Moot was said that when European colonizers entered Africa with cross flags, Africans exhibited very contradictory behavior. On one hand, they resisted the colonizers fiercely, and on the other hand, they unreservedly converted to Christianity. This is very contradictory, but why? Because they knew the cross symbol, their ancestors had seen it thousands of years ago and said it was a divine symbol. So when they saw the missionaries, they converted to Catholicism. A similar thing happened in the 16th century in South America. When Spanish conquerors and missionaries entered the territory of the Maya people, the Mayans saw the cross and immediately knelt, saying, "You are the messengers of the gods. We will serve you wholeheartedly." As a result, the Spanish conquerors used 200 men to destroy the 20 million strong Mayan Empire. I will give you a detailed account of this story in the future. So, to uncover the secret of the cross, we must return to the gods, this symbol. Look, the god's symbol. What's strange about it? They have 4 radiant beams on their heads, and then their hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 hands. They're not human. According to the creation myth of the Paiwan people of Taiwan, there is an egg in the universe, a sun god, a god with a halo, and 4 hands. Does the swastika also appear? Combining all these elements, this god is the Hindu Brahma. The Indian Brahman Vedas record that Brahma is also called Hiranyagarbha, meaning the golden egg. In Buddhism, Brahma is called the Great Brahma King, whose lifespan is the same as the entire world of samsara. The Mahayana Sutra records that when the Buddha was about to enter nirvana and return to the highest layer of the universe, the formless realm, a halo radiated from his body to illuminate the entire universe. The great Brahma King saw this in the formless realm and thought, "What is this?" He immediately transported himself to earth and observed the Buddha, wondering how this fleshly being could escape samsara and enter the highest heaven. Siddhartha Gautama sensed the great Brahma King beside him and said, "You have come." Then he asked, "If the world was created by you, then are the world's sufferings, ugliness, and dissatisfaction also created by you?" The great Brahma King replied, "No, the universe is not created." In Hinduism and Buddhism, the center of the world is called Mount Meru, the abode of the gods. The world is divided into 4 continents, with Earth located in Jambudvipa, and the southern part is called Southern Jambudvipa. Taiwanese indigenous myths belong to a type of primal religion. To find a comparable example, we look to an ancient religion, Bon. According to the Bon Treasury of Good Sayings, at the beginning of creation, there was a continent called Ol Mo Lung Ring. In Ol Mo Lung Ring, there was a holy mountain, Yungdrung Gutseg, from which 4 rivers flowed in the directions of east, south, west, and north. These rivers were called Angka, Sindhu, Pagshu, and Saita. These 4 rivers divided Ol Mo Lung Ring into 4 regions, which were further divided into 12 borderlands called Mthagling. Now let's look at this cross tattoo again. The circle in the middle represents the holy mountain, and the 4 rivers flowing in the directions of east, south, west, and north divide the world into 4 parts. These 4 parts are further divided into 3 lines, representing the number 3. When added together, they make 12, representing 12 small continents. In ancient Tibet, these small continents were called Gling, meaning island or continent. In the future, I will tell you about the secrets of the Tibetan epic of King Gesar, which mentions that King Gesar's kingdom was called Kingdom Gling. This Gling is the same as the Taiwanese Ketagalan's Galan. Kata is the sacred name of the Ketagalan people, and the island they came from is called Ketagalan. This island is actually the cross symbol in the Paiwan people's tattoos. The 4 rivers in this cross symbol are the same as the 4 holy rivers flowing out of the Garden of Eden, mentioned in the Bible's Genesis. So, the collective memory of the Taiwanese indigenous people is that their ancestors came from the sea in the direction of Saisiyat, where there was once a continent, the place where humanity began, the Garden of Eden. Could the Garden of Eden be the legendary Mu continent? It is very possible. According to ancient geographical studies, New Zealand is the last remaining island of the sunken Mu continent. Look, the rest of the part is completely submerged by the sea. What exactly happened? The Saisiyat myth also records this. After hearing it, your brain capacity might not be enough. The Saisiyat myth tells that the ancient world on Earth was divided into 4 stages. The first stage was the creation story, which we just mentioned. The second stage is called the Golden Age. In this era, humans didn't need to work. All the food appeared before humans by just saying it. If you wanted to eat chicken, you would say, "Chicken, come here," and a group of chickens would run to you automatically. The gods arranged everything for humans, just like in the Garden of Eden. Then the world entered the third stage, called the Battle of the Sun. Humans were living happily when suddenly 2 suns appeared in the sky, one large and one small. These 2 suns alternated, and there was no night. Many humans and animals died from the heat. Later, human ancestors said, "Let's shoot the sun together." So a group of people set out and shot one of the suns with bows and arrows. There is a very important detail here. After the sun was shot, the other sun was so frightened that it didn't dare to come out, plunging the earth into darkness. The story then follows humans searching for the sun. Why was the other sun so frightened that it didn't dare to come out? What exactly happened? Something terrible. Next, the earth entered the fourth stage, the Great Flood. A massive flood suddenly occurred, with heavy rain falling from the sky and rivers overflowing. At this time, a tsunami appeared south of the island, surging towards the island. Humans were terrified and quickly ran to the mountains to hide. Those who couldn't escape in time drowned. After the flood subsided, humans found that the entire Galen was submerged by the sea, with only the mountain tops exposed. To survive, humans had to take boats and leave to find new places to live. They drifted with the current, known as the Kuroshio Current, and arrived in Taiwan. The core of the Saisiyat myth is not actually the Great Flood, but the Battle of the Sun story. In the future, I will also explain to you the apocalyptic scenes that appeared in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was destroyed by 2 suns, and the pyramids were finally submerged by the sea. There is evidence of this because ancient Persian Zoroastrianism mentioned the mysterious story of 2 suns, Ahura Mazda and Ahura Mazda's opponent, Angra Mainyu. Angra Mainyu is called the spirit of evil, chaos, destruction, and the Black Sun. Why is it called the Black Sun? I have completed my research and will explain it to you in the future. So the question arises, what was the second sun that appeared in the ancient solar system? It could be Nibiru, or Planet X, a dark star approaching Earth. When the second sun approached Earth, it caused many meteors to be attracted by the strong gravity and fly towards Earth. This is not speculation. Scientists investigated Antarctica and discovered a 480-kilometer meteorite crater, possibly caused by an impact 484 years ago. In addition to satellite detection, scientists found a large amount of meteorite dust mixed in the soil and ice in Antarctica, which is very small, at the micron level. Now look at the location of this crater. If we turn the Earth around, above it is New Zealand. When a massive meteorite hit Antarctica, it caused a huge tsunami, submerging the entire ancient New Zealand continent. Look at the seabed map. This area is all a continent, and this area could be the legendary sunken Mu continent. After the impact, the meteorite raised massive surface dust, which rushed into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and plunging the Earth into years of darkness. The sun was lost. This is the story of searching for the sun in the Saisiyat myth. Sunlight could no longer penetrate the Earth's atmosphere due to the dust, plunging the Earth into an ice age. So, myths and legends may all be true. Later, humans, led by the Ketagalan people, entered Taiwan by boat. After landing, they started a new life. But strangely, although they found many gold mines here, they also discovered another intelligent species, and they were not human. In the Saisiyat legend, after the indigenous people entered Taiwan, they found another intelligent species living here, called Saluso and Ikalan. They, along with giants, were called the pre-human species of the previous era. They were only about 60 centimeters tall, dwarfs. They lived in underground caves in Taiwan, with very large eyes that allowed them to see clearly in the dark. Although they were small, only the size of a child, they were stronger than several adult men combined. One of them could throw a human. Saluso and Ikalan had either black or white skin and were also called ukauhia, black ants, because the soil they left on the surface after digging looked like ant hills. They also mined gold underground. This is actually what Herodotus recorded in India as gold-digging ants. When they first met humans, they were friendly and gave seeds to humans, teaching them planting techniques.
Kukotaay kibakitaaya, na ikaw sa kasaila. Kasaila mo ay kumimila, tumihiro la ka Saisiyat. Isa inay di sayang he, isa kusan mo yohini. Isa ni bakitaay ki kotaay sa isa kusan smuyohini.
Later, humans had conflicts with them. These dwarfs then stole human children at night and even attacked human villages, killing villagers. Later, humans united and poured water into their caves, drowning or driving them away. Now, there is still a dwarf spirit festival in Hsinchu, Taiwan. Could this be another wild imagination of ancient humans? It is not. They really existed. In northern Australia, in a country made up of islands called Papua New Guinea, there is a dance called the Baning Fire Dance. At night, the Baning people wear masks with large eyes and dance through the fire. They say these large-eyed creatures were their gods, whom the Baning people called Vung Vung. What did Vung Vung do here? Are they a type of small reptilian? Or are they the lower-class gods Ijiji left by the legendary Anunnaki to mine gold? This is another story involving an even greater secret of ancient Earth. Well, that's the end of today's story. Your subscriptions and likes help me a lot. Thank you all. See you next time.